and Aurelio Vidmar. He doesn't have many options how to play it, but the way we are playing it, for me anyhow, means that we're going to be under a fair bit of pressure for most of this match.
Well, we've talked about the Argentinian skipper, we've talked about our blokes, and one guy that we haven't mentioned is Jason Pollock. I mean, it's only the second or third time he's really played in this position, and he's going to really feel the pinch, I think, a bit early on.
Well, he is. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that that's his right role, Cosy.
All right, Johnny, I'm going to have to stop you guys now because it's almost kick-off time. John, thanks for joining us from Buenos Aires. Enjoy yourself there. Enjoy the trip. Fellas, thank you. Let's go over to our commentator now, Gary Bloom.
Good morning, Australia. The Socceroos are just minutes away from a meeting with one of the strongest footballing nations in the world. The Australians are also without several of their top overseas players. Quite simply, if Australia beat Argentina for the first time in South America today, it'll go down as one of the outstanding performances of an Australian sporting team in recent years. It'll be Australia to get this match underway, but shortly, moment's silence. Today's referee comes from Paraguay, Toribio Aquino, and a marvellous setting for a football match. This brand new stadium hosting one of its first games, and certainly the first time that the Argentinian national team have played here. Australia in their familiar yellow kit, playing from left to right in the first half. Eddie Thompson, the national coach, said the opening 20 minutes will be like surviving in Vietnam. It'll be a confident start by Argentina. Estrada on the ball now, number 5. Look at this one-touch passing. Gallardo. Estrada wins it back. Australia now on the counter-attack. Ortega is fouled. It'll be a free kick to Australia. Also, Chamot giving away the free kick. Player who earns his living in Italy's Serie A with Lazio. John Markowski waiting patiently on the edge of the penalty area. It's to the back post. This is the 5th senior international between the two countries. Australia have only won one of those games. That was back in 1988 in a friendly in Sydney. They've never beaten Argentina here in South America. And there's a real intimidating atmosphere for the Socceroos. Ayala. Swept to Chamot. Berti takes over. Balbo. It's a fine ball to the back post. Oh, almost an own goal. So Gallardo had to make a very confident catch then. And Australia almost went behind in the opening moments of the game. It was Van Blurk who got his head to the ball there. Number 2, Ayala under pressure. Caceres strikes it to Chamot. Chamot looking for Balbo. Balbo claims he was fouled then. Confirmation of the Argentine substitutes, including Ortega, the World Cup revelation. Now, Australia on the defensive, but they try and mount this counter-attack. Markowski, Wade unable to get anywhere near the ball. Polak will take the throw. Eddie Thompson is telling his troops to take it easy in the opening stages of this game. That's quite sensible. The home fans are hoping that Argentina can play with something of a spring in their step as they prepare for the Copa America. Gallardo. Shermont. Simeone. Zanetti. Gallardo. He's intercepted by Polak. Polak again. It's all rather tight for Australia, and Argentina win it back. Clever little back heel was by Batistuta. It's going to be a busy night for number 4, Milan Ivanovic. Shermont with a throw. No foul. Shermont, a rare error by the left back. Go into Australia, and I think Australia just trying to take the pace out of the game in these opening stages, and they're probably wise to do that. Estrada. Ayala. Caceres. Look at the amount of space Argentina have here, deep in their own half of the field. Shermont. He was fouled there by Ortega. The referee allows the advantage. Batistuta tries to link up with number 11, Berti. Well, I think that was a rather harsh decision which went against Australia. Berti claiming he was hit on the back of the head. I think he tripped as he went for that ball with Polak. But it is a free kick to Argentina and a chance to launch a ball into the penalty area. In fact, there was a nudge there by Polak. So the referee got it absolutely right. Simeone tried to find a yard inside the box, got catched by Canats, the goalkeeper of Australia. That one driven in by Gallardo, but the Australian keeper wears the number 18 jersey tonight because the sleeves of the number 1 jersey aren't long enough on this cold night. But he made a good catch there. Markovski. Cristante with another routine save. Rolando Cristante made his debut in the 6-0 win over Slovakia recently. Batistuta missed out. Balbo! Terrific strike. What a goal by Balbo. Argentina are ahead after 6 minutes of the game. There was hardly any backlift in his shot, but my goodness, once it left his boot, Canats could hardly get near it. Look at this from Balbo, spun away from his marker, and that accurate shot gives Argentina the lead. Just kissed the underside of the bar on its way through to goal. So Balbo with the opening strike. His international career looked over after Argentina's defeat against Cameroon in the opening game of the 1990 World Cup. His place has been in jeopardy from Angel Rambert. That's a timely reminder to Daniel Passarella not to forget about number 7, Balbo. He's had a great season in Italy with Roma, and now he's got a kick on his head. And that stray boot has drawn blood from the forehead. There's Daniel Passarella, the coach of Argentina, who's moulding together a very effective side who not only could do well in the Copa America next month, some may feel are destined to become a world force once again in football. The FIFA regulations quite clearly stipulate that any player who has a bleeding wound has to leave the field, and I suspect Balbo will be taken away to have that cut seen to. They want Balbo back on the field quick enough, though. Caceres. Argentina lead by 1-0. Chamot. Betted. Able to keep the ball in play. Polak to take the throw-in. This is Australia's third visit to play in Buenos Aires. They've lost the previous two. Most famous, the 1993 World Cup playoff, when Argentina booked their place in the World Cup finals in the USA. Batistuta's after this one. Steve Hall hammered the ball out of play. Batistuta. And here is Van Blok. Crash the ball into Zanetti. Van Blok's in trouble. Throw into Argentina, who've made a very promising start to this game. They look really on their game. And they look up for the task. Zanetti trying to power his way towards goal, trying to link up with Balbo. This is Chamot. Ray helping it back to his goalkeeper. Great lift on the clearance. Gallardo. Berti. Well, Australia just had to try and keep Argentina at arm's length now, because Argentina, with that early goal, have got into their stride and are threatening to overrun this game. There's Marcelo Gallardo, the terrifically promising player, and there's another terrifically promising raid, which comes to an end with Ayala's header off target. Balbo wasn't too far away from making contact with that flick down. Roberto Ayala, who's just joined Parma in Italy. So 11 minutes in. You've just joined us, you're watching live pictures of Argentina against Australia. Australia have just won a free kick, they're a goal down. Balbo scored for Argentina after 6 minutes of the game. And there he is. Once again, Australia guilty of making an unforced error. Possession away rather cheaply. Gallardo will travel with Leeds United in England on their tour of South Africa next week. Markowski. Ayala able to win possession for his side, but he makes sure there's no progress available to the Australian team down that left flank. Markowski. Ayala stopped his progress. Into the Socceroos. Still reeling from that early blow of the goal scored by Balbo. Van Blok. Van Blok takes over again. Zelic. Batistuta. Chamot. Gallardo. Chamot. Polak. Berti. Batistuta. Balbo. Gallardo. Markowski's after this one. Gallardo. Berti. Balbo. Caught in possession though. Then Zelic. national team coach of Australia. 47th game in charge. The Socceroos have won 22 of those. They've drawn 9 and lost 15. Batistuta. I think it's fair to say that Daniel Passarella, the coach of Argentina, is trying to repair the reputation of Argentina, to which so much damage was done at the 1994 World Cup with the Maradona affair. There's a real sense of discipline now in the team. Lazaridis. It's a useful cross by Lazaridis. My goodness, there was alarm bells ringing there in the Argentinian defence. Polak. Zanetti. It's round 3 now. Berti. The ball took a peculiar bounce off a divot. It was always difficult for Batistuta to control. Just going back to that, I was saying about the discipline that Passarella's instilled in this, or inspired in this Argentina side. He's banned long haircuts. He's brought on some of the younger players, especially from Argentina, and overlooked some of the more established European stars. But Batistuta and Balbo are back in harness now. Gallardo, one of these promising youngsters brought on by Passarella. Just 19 years old, and the heir apparent to Diego Maradona. Paul Wade making sure he had hold of Gallardo in more ways than one. And Paul Wade, the captain, is cautioned. Man they call the Archangel Gabriel back in Italy. Gabriel Batistuta. Diego Simeone, who was thought at one stage might be number 10 for Argentina, leading up to the 1994 World Cup, but of course Maradona returned to the national side. Now finds himself on the right-hand side of midfield. There's a free kick to the Socceroos. 16 minutes in, they trail by 1-0. Two here is Jason Polak, who twisted an ankle during the Socceroos' final training session. Chamot. Estrada. Betty. Balbo. Cleverly done. Gallardo now. 9 is Batistuta. Hooked hopefully to the middle. Back to Chamot. Oh, goodness me, what were the Socceroos thinking about? It's all Argentina at the moment. And the busiest man you can be sure in the Australian team will be the defenders. Well, they can take a breather now. Ayala's through ball might be the most measured of the game so far. Daniel Passarella didn't like it. It won't be the last cigarette he smokes before the evening's out. Well, Eddie Thompson was hoping that Australia wouldn't concede an early goal, but that's exactly what's happened. It was a real beauty from the boot of Balbo. I think the Australian tactic is to slow the game down as much as possible, because they know once Argentina are into their stride, they're going to be very, very difficult to budge. This is Berti. Chemont. Gallardo. Look at his control. Final ball was disappointing. Estrada. Zanetti. He looks so confident on the ball. I think that came off an Argentinian player. I think it was Ayala who got the final touch. This is Markovski. This is promising for the Socceroos. It was rather easy in the end for the goalkeeper, Cristante. Berti. Gallardo. Oh, Batistuta had a sniff of goal. That's all he needs sometimes. Ayala, positive header. That's made his debut back in '92 in an international against Malaysia. This is Ned Zelic, whose season has been disrupted by injury. Ayala. Batistuta. Gallardo. I hope he hasn't damaged himself. Had a rather heavy landing with that advertising hoarding on the far side. Chemont. Balbo. Estrada. Zanetti. Cleverly done. Balbo. Berti. In a press to the ball to Polag. Ortega just stabs it on. One or two options here. Lazaridis. Lazaridis certainly felt he was fouled then. He's been linked with West Ham United in England and PAOK in Greece. But the Paraguayan referee didn't think that was a trip. Lazaridis did though. Gallardo bumps into his marker. Eddie Thompson not popular with the home supporters. You'd hardly expect them to roll out the red carpet, mind you. Zanetti, whose influence on this game is growing by the minute. Gallardo. Berti now for Argentina. Polag got in the way. Argentina claim handball. The referee waves play on. Berti. Gallardo. Well, the referee must have spotted something. Free kick to Argentina. Australia were admiring this playing surface after training here yesterday. Brand new stadium. Australia did say that the grass here was a little bit on the long side, and they knew that to pass the ball effectively they had to strike the ball very positively. That's exactly what Argentina are thinking about now. Gallardo's a free kick expert. Even at his tender young years in this side. A peculiar free kick, it has to be said. Simeone. Markowski. Lead up. Not again able to take advantage of possession. Socceroos playing with just one recognised striker. Maybe the word recognised isn't apt because none of the starting 11 is an out-and-out forward. Some may feel it's little more than a damage limitation exercise by the coach, Eddie Thompson. Balbo. Betty. Zanetti fell rather heavily then. Certainly felt the weight of that tackle. Incidentally, we can now clear up reason for the moment's silence prior to kick-off. Ricardo Chavarria, physical fitness man who worked with the national team, died recently, so there was a moment of tribute to him. Seems to be a problem here for Abel Balbo. Seems to have damaged his hand. Steve Korica picking at Jason Polak. Ivan Ivanovic. Alex Tobin. Paul Wade. This is confident football now by Australia. Markowski. Zelic. Wade. Patient build-up by the Socceroos. Now, can they get the final ball into the box? Zelic. Was easily the best move Australia put together in this game. Balbo now back on the field. Zanetti thought about moving onto the ball. In the end, he went back with disastrous consequences. Simeone, pressure from Van Blurk. That's our ball, says Jason Van Blurk. Zanetti wants to take the free kick. I think a player in the yellow-coloured jerseys would have to do that. Zelic. Mazovidis.
Well, it looks like lost commentator Gary Bloom for the moment, but we luckily, it seems, have the pictures back. Australia down 1-0 through a goal by Balbo, which did rather surprise the Australian defenders, including goalkeeper Zeljko Kalac. I might get a quick comment from the boys on that goal and the way the game is going at the moment while we wait to get Gary Bloom back. John?
Well, it was the last thing that Tomo or any of the boys would have wanted, for that matter, to concede a goal that early in the match, but take nothing away from the quality of the goal. It was sensational. But I mean, it's interesting. You know, we went up the other end, and John Markovski had a dig. It wasn't an effective shot. Their keeper cleared it long, straight down the other end of the park, and bang, it's 1-0 after 6 minutes, and it panicked us for a while. It took us a good 10, maybe 15 minutes to just get back into our stride, and only in the last few minutes have we started to knock the ball around with any sort of composure at all.
Tom, the onslaught that Eddie Thompson expected did come, and Australia might still take some time to get really into the game.
Yeah, Les, the goal was a brilliant goal, brilliantly executed, but he got too much room. He had too much room in that. You know, you've got to mark tight in that last 30 yards. You can't give these guys an inch. You've given them 2 yards. It's a goal, as you know, just what happened. But Australia, if they stick to their task and stick marking tightly, especially in that last 30 yards, they'll get a respectable result out of this. But isn't that Argentinian midfield brilliant?
Yeah, they're
absolutely
dynamite.
Brilliant.
They are dynamite. And I mean, Ned, Wadey, Stan, and I mean, Steve Corica's hardly had a touch at all. But I mean, Ned's only just come back into the game. But those 4 blokes were chasing shadows for the first 15 minutes.
They're just brilliant players. And that fullback Zanetti, he's something else as well.
You can see he's not been bought by Italian clubs as a defender, that's for sure. Unbelievable going forward. He walks past people, so composed on the ball.
We've just got to keep marking tight, keep destroying there, and hoping that we can get something up front.
I tell you who's actually done quite well so far is John Markovski. He's held the ball up quite comfortably, and he's strong on the ball, and I think he's surprised a few of the Argentinians. Well,
in the old Lone Ranger role, that's he's got that quality which some of the others before him didn't have, did they, John? And that's part of the plan. Eddie Thompson insists is for that player to be able to hold up the ball so that the midfield men can come through.
He lacks the mobility of a Graham Arnold, but and the direct approach, I guess, of a Frank Farina, but he's sure as hell got the skills to hold a ball up. He's great. It's his body size, and his technique is excellent.
Now, Steve Corica, we were, I think, mistaken about his role. He's playing wide on the right, not so much just behind Jonesy.
Yeah, it appears that way, and he's hardly had a touch. I mean, every time he's got the ball, he's been shut down. I think he's, as we talked about before the match, it's going to be a good lesson for Bimby, because these guys are hardened and seasoned professionals, and he's learnt, I think, by now that he doesn't get time on the ball at all.
Well, Stan Lazaridis on the left-hand side has caused a few problems already for the Argentinians, and it was his move which led to this corner, which will be taken by Steve Corica, an in-swinger. It looked like Ned Zelic was up for the header there. Jason van Blurk just arguing the point with the referee.
I don't know what that free kick was for. Looks like a bit of pushing. We might get a replay here. Here we go.
Perhaps pushing on
or a
player that
handball.
went up for it.
No, I can't see how any foul was awarded there.
But they're very composed, these Argentinians. Quality players, aren't they?
It's a handball.
Oh, a penalty's been given. A penalty's been given for handball. Well, we obviously missed something there. Paul Wade is going to take it because at one point the Australians looked like they were protesting. But what we are about to see, one hopes here, is an equaliser by Australia. Paul Wade taking the penalty and hitting the post. And it's gone in. It's finally gone in. Has the referee allowed it? No.
Ned Zelic.
Ned Zelic putting it in.
Can't be offside.
Now I think he's going to book Markovski for protesting. Well, what a great shame. Boys?
I don't know what it was disallowed for, Les. Well, it's a pity we haven't got Gary Bloom.
Yeah, but the penalty should have been put home, shouldn't it, really? You know, there's no excuse for a professional. This is a good angle.
Now, if it's offside, well, it can't be offside.
No,
it's not
offside.
offside.
No. It can't be offside.
Off the post. Well, it could only have been for a foul by Jonesy, maybe.
Strange decision. Everything looked okay there, didn't it? Strange decision.
Well, that's a shame.
It's a pity.
Another view of it. Paul Wade, ricochet off.
I tell you, it's encroachment.
But yeah, encroachment in the penalty area.
Yeah, it was. Whoever's challenged after that's come off the post was well and truly. They were alongside the ball as Wade hit it virtually.
Yeah. So the rules are you're not supposed to be inside the area before the kick is taken, and that obviously was the case with Markovski. Or so it seems, according to the linesman referee. The Argentinians come, and it's nearly a second one. The cross coming in from Gallardo, and it's Batistuta who put it wide. Batistuta and Balbo, a real problem for the defenders.
Yeah, Tommy mentioned that we've got to pick up in our back third. It's probably, you know, it's important that we do, but it's in the penalty area more than anything against guys like Batistuta and Balbo, because they are so quick, they're so mobile. We've got to get with them and we've got to track them down, and I think that's probably a little bit where Steve Horvath's finding it tough going, Tommy.
As we said earlier, these guys are used to the tight marking in Italy, where probably the marking's the finest in the world, and unless we stick close to them, you know, given a yard, it's a luxury to these players, and we mustn't allow it to do so. It's a great pity they missed that penalty, because it would have put them back in even terms and given them heart.
And have a look at how the Argentinians here are pressurising.
Yeah,
they're
closing
not
down
backing
in
off. They're squeezing us, and they're swarming on the ball, and we just cannot get it out. We haven't got the technique. Not that we haven't got the technique, but we're not used to this kind of pressure. It's a great. I think it's a great learning process for the local players playing in a match like this.
And there's no substitute for skill in soccer, John. All these players are skilled players, aren't they?
Gallardo, impressions about him, the playing in the Maradona shirt,
He's
John?
got some lovely touches. If you wanted to compare him, I guess to Maradona, he's a different type of player. He's a busier type of player. Maradona's got the more subtle, the more silky skills. But,
Maradona was a player who had the individual brilliancy to win a game on his own, to do something on his own, and there are very few players in the world can do this. Really.
Well, there won't be too many.
No.
But he's obviously talented. There's some lovely through balls. He's only 18, so very promising.
He's got a big future ahead of him.
But the whole midfield are highly talented, aren't they? They're talking, they're playing it, they're playing a short ball, switching it, good vision, good skills. They're
great to watch in the tight. You have a look, they'll play a ball 3 or 4 metres, they'll have three or four blokes around it, just one touch. It's like a pinball machine, but they keep possession, and that's what's important.
They're doing quite well, Australia, man. They're doing quite well.
We have a bit of a luxury in attack on the left-hand side with Lazaridis and Van Blurk, not so much on the right. Right back is a bit of a problem for us. Jason Polak playing there today. He's normally a midfielder. Tony Vidmar normally plays there, who plays left back, of course, for Adelaide City, even though he is a two-footed player. Somehow our attack's always tilted that way, John.
It's an experience thing, Les, and if you have a look, I mean, Stan, all right, lacks a little bit of experience, but he's a good physical specimen. Stevie Corica is not as tough physically as Stan Lazaridis, and Jason Polak has not had the experience to play at this level, whereas Blurky, I mean, he plays in a fairly tough competition, the English First Division. You know, if you want to talk about physical football competitions, that's one of the worst, or one of the toughest. And I mean, you have a look at the way Blurky gets stuck in. He's
very good competitor.
He's one of the few players he's put, like when that free kick was on a bit earlier, and the Argentinians were trying to slow things up, he was in there pushing people away.
Good competitor, yeah.
He was standing up for himself, and that's where that's standing him in good stead at the moment. He's probably, you know, that's helping Stan Lazaridis as well.
Well, if you just joined us, we're having some problem with audio. We have pictures from Buenos Aires, but no sound, no commentator. Hence, being forced to talk over these pictures. Story of the game. Argentina in the lead, 1-0 through a goal by Abel Balbo. And then Australia had a chance to equalise with a penalty, which was hit against the post by Paul Wade, and it did go back on the rebound from John Markovski, but he was ruled to have infringed the encroachment rule. Here come the Argentinians again, the shot not coming off for Gabriel Batistuta. So Daniel Passarella's team still leading 1-0.
See, now there, that Batistuta again, it was in the clear there. We've got to pick up there. We've got to mark tight there. In this sort of, this calibre of football, you know, you can't give these guys an inch.
But they break that quickly, Tommy, and it gets back to the thing. It's a difference between full-timers and part-timers. And, you know, our defence, apart from Blurkey, are all part-timers. And take nothing away from their ability, but it makes a world of difference. There's a yard in pace, and, you know, the yard on a football field at this kind of level is, it may as well be 10.
Well, we keep saying that, and I'm sure everybody acknowledges it. Nobody has ever won anything with part-time players, and until such time as Australia's footballers are all full-time, we really cannot hope for the ultimate.
All of the right noises are being made on the local scene now at the moment, aren't they? So maybe, you know, we'll see 4 or 5 years down the track.
So Argentina on the attack, as we are getting some semblance of audio through from Buenos Aires. And we have Gary Bloom back, so let's go back to our commentator.
Yes, a foul on Markovski. Markovski's only goal for Australia was against Japan. He's going to look for one here as Ned Zelic stands over the ball and prepares to deliver this free kick into the edge of the box. Steve Horvath's forward. Markovski. Socceroos have won it back. Free kick to Argentina. Steve Horvath using his weight and muscle legally, according to the referee. This is terrific experience for Australia to play in such an intimidating atmosphere so far away from home. It's going to stand them in good stead as they look forward now to the future. Who knows? Qualification for the 1998 World Cup in France. Chermont. Chermont being tucked back there. Ortega. Zelic. Body check by Chermont. Free kick to Australia.
Hey, what with the yellow cards? Fucking intentional. We are Jonesy. We do, son. I fancy Jonesy. Bimby, go for the square ball.
Well, the thoughts of the coach are evident there. Rather surprisingly, Australia have this free kick. Eddie Thompson will complain about that one little bit. Now, can the Socceroos find equalising goal with half-time in sight? They trail 1-0. Cristante waiting expectantly on his goal line. John Markovski standing over the ball. Zelic to his right. Ortega, Zelic, it was a rather weak effort. Markovski wins it back. There's no foul. And there wasn't an offside either, as Markovski went for that loose ball. It was a good knock-in by Steve Horvath, number 3. Simeone, Caceres, Chermont. A free kick, foul on Paul Wade. Australia take it quickly. Azaridis forces the ball wide. Van Blok. Zanetti. I think Australia are suffering because of the formation they've opted for. And when they do get the ball in the last third of the field, they don't have that many options available to them. But having said that, Argentina haven't troubled Australia that many times. If you think back, the Australian goalkeeper Zeljko Kalac hasn't really had that many saves to make. He was comprehensively beaten with a shot by Balbo, true, but other than that, it's been a quiet game for him so far. Chamot. Wade. All that. The free kick to Australia. You just begin to get the impression the crowd is getting on the back of Argentina. They want a couple of goals. They want them quickly. It doesn't look like they're going to get any more before half-time. And this is Jason Polak. Lazaridis. Zelic. Ivanovic. Ortega. The ball was disappointing. Australia won it back again. Van Blok now. Lazaridis. Ayala locked in path to goal. Gallardo. His skills really have entertained the crowd in the opening 45 minutes. Batistuta. Ayala. Balbo waiting in the middle. Confident catch by Kalac in the Seagull. Wasn't the sort of cross Balbo wanted. It wasn't an easy one for the goalkeepers. The ball got lost in the floodlights.
Up, Bimby! Keep backing inside! Keep backing in! Well done! Keep back, Bimby!
Two here is Jason Polak to take this throw in. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Markovski. Wade up in support here. Oh, that was too far away. It was a good shot by Stan Lazaridis. Yet to score for Australia, but that wasn't too far away from his first goal for his country. Worth a shot from that sort of range. Ortega keeps it, the ball in play, but then runs into Chamot, who's had a sound game at left back. This brings terrific security to this left-hand side of the Argentinian defence. Polak with a throw. There's a push there by Markovski, and a free kick to Argentina. The slenderest of leads at half-time. Well, there really was a special goal by Balbo, rifled in with his right foot after 6 minutes of the game. And although Australia have come back strongly since then, the half-time score is Argentina 1, Australia 0.
Welcome back. Argentina versus Australia. The second half about to get underway. It's 1-0 to the Argentinians. Balbo the scorer in the 6th minute. The Australians missing out on a chance to equalise with a penalty. We still haven't got the pictures coming through, but they should be very, very close to kicking off there. Just a reminder again that there will be edited replay of this match tonight. Kickoff is imminent at the Quilmes Stadium. 0-1, the Australians. Our commentator is Gary Blue.
Welcome back. The half-time talk has been of missed penalties and missed chances for Argentina. And the missed penalty, of course, for Australia. And what effects that spot kick misplaced by Paul Wade will have on the final outcome of this game. And it's Argentina 1, Australia 0 at half-time. And there's been a lot of debate as just to why the Australia goal was ruled out after the spot kick had hit the upright. And it was delivered so emphatically back into the goal by Zanetti. There was a suggestion that there was encroachment at the penalty kick, but it really was a peculiar decision by the referee. And the only authentic goal of the game has been scored by Balbo. I think the Argentinian crowd look for a vast improvement from the home side. They have been disappointing for long periods of the opening 45 minutes. I think it's worth underlining that in their recent 6-0 victory over Slovakia, most, in fact, all of Argentina's goals came in a 35-minute spell towards the end of the game, sparked off by a goal by Batistuta. But Australia, by comparison, have looked very compact. They put men behind the ball, they frustrated Argentina. Caceres breaks forward now. Gallardo. Balbo. Batistuta. It was dragged back delightfully into the path of Berti. They wanted a much more emphatic finish than that. Look at Berti joining the attack. Balbo found him. It was a very weak effort indeed. Another wonderful move, and the vision of Balbo was exemplary there, and so was the vision of Batistuta, despite facing the wrong way. Zanetti. Estrada picking out Ayala. And that enters a familiar pack. Australia have held firm, but for that one goal, and I'm sure Australia will try put behind them that penalty miss. Simeone. Estrada. Chamot. Oh, the goalkeeper hasn't got hold of that one at all. Van Blek hacks the ball clear. And Argentina begin the second half much in the same vein as the first. Trying to pick holes in this Australian defence. Won't find a way through like that. Remember, I should underline, Argentina are finalising their preparations for the Copa America, which begins next month. Argentina are the holders, winning the title in 1993 in Ecuador. They beat Mexico in the final. Jason Van Blek. Argentina take this free kick quickly. Simeone! Balbo! Terrific save by Gallardo. And Australia were caught cold by that quickly taken free kick, and they can thank their goalkeeper and his reflexes for keeping the scoreline at 1-0. Simeone drove it in. Look at Balbo. Corner then to Argentina. They could so easily be two ahead. Gallardo drives in the corner kick. It's over the head of Chamot. Berti. Chamot back inside his own half of the field now. All the way back to Zanetti, who will be the back marker for Argentina. 5 is Estrada on the River Plate club. Simeone will deliver that marvellous cross. Estrada. Markovski. Ortega. Looking for an outlet for his pass and able to find one. Caceres. Gallardo. Batistuta. Gallardo trying to win possession back. Zanetti's done just that. Estrada. Balbo. Gallardo. Zanetti blocked the shot. Zanetti on his way to Inter Milan next season. That's when Black's progress is checked. Zelic. It's a disappointing ball by Wade. Balbo. Batistuta up in support. All that's defending. Batistuta. Gallardo was winding himself up for an explosive shot on goal. Lazaridis seemed to be handed off there by Zanetti. Yes, you. Zanetti pleads his innocence. He really is the pick of a crop of players brought into the national team by Daniel Passarella. Van Vleck with a free kick. Still 1-0 to Argentina. And that should be the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper's ball. We're down to a surprise selection for the national team. It's taken over from Germain Burgos of River Plate. Passarella compares his style to that of Filiol, the great Argentinian goalkeeper. You might in saying that Filiol actually made his name here at the Quilmes club. Which of course is a new stadium though. Once again, no let-up in the commitment shown by the Australian players. Kevin! Appears that Australia have a problem here. Maybe Kevin Muscat is preparing to come on for them. Just trying to interpret the shouting and screaming going on down on the bench, but I think Kevin Muscat's coming on, and appears to be an injury to one of the Australian players. I'm not sure which one at the moment. More on that in a moment. Batistuta heads the ball on, looking for Balbo, and able to find him. Batistuta, and his ankles tapped in his shooting stride, and a free kick to Argentina. He's used to this sort of treatment in Italy's Serie A. Batistuta just staring over at the substitutes bench and towards his coach Daniel Passarella. Well, there's a crop of players who could strike this ball, but Marcelo Gallardo will be favourite number 10. He's scored 4 goals from free kicks since Passarella took over the national team. And one of his goals came from open play. Looks like a bus stop there, doesn't it? So plenty of players in the defensive war on both teams. Gallardo! Excellent Well, the big number 18 has made a couple of impressive stops. And if he is to find fame and fortune in English football with Leeds United, they could do with a video sent to them of this game. Gallardo with a corner kick. Remember, Mark Bosnich unavailable for Australia, along with the likes of Tony Vidmar, Radio Vidmar, Graham Arnold and Robbie Slater, Paul Oaken, all on the sidelines, but the understudies, if that's fair to call them that, are doing pretty well, thank you. Batistuta. No foul. Here come the Socceroos on the counter-attack. Not for long, though. Gallardo. Batistuta! What a good stop by Cannats. Was having an inspired game for the Socceroos. Ball just spun up off the shin of Batistuta. Zanetti. Simeone. Berti. And the referee's attention being drawn to the near side. Looks like Jason Polak is coming off. Now Jason Polak twisted an ankle in training yesterday, and I wonder if he's feeling the effects of that, and that's why he's coming off now. And Kevin Muscat on in his place. Free kick to Argentina. Ayala! Oh, the goalkeeper hesitated and had to make a smart save there. You'd be too happy with his defenders for allowing him to be exposed in this way. Look at the hesitation there. And the guilty party was number 5, Alex Tobin. Yeah, no wonder he's cross. I'd be cross too. Kevin Muscat then on number 13. The captain of the Olympic team and also captain of the 1993 Youth World Cup team. He really has been included because of the absence of overseas players. Zanetti, confidently moving forward now. He seemed to be checked just as he released the ball. Chemont doesn't take any prisoners. Van Blurk. Zanetti. Wade. Zelic. Simeone's breaking to the right here. No foul. Gallardo knows all the tricks, even at the age of 19. Zanetti. Simeone. Terrific play by Simeone. And stopped by a terrific tackle. This is bubbling up into a fascinating game now. Argentina just unable to force a second goal, which would give them a cushion of authority. And Australia looking back to that penalty miss, which they will rue so badly, knowing that they're still in this game, thanks to their goalkeeper. We've had an hour of the match, 1-0 to Argentina. Gallardo. Chamont's after it. Gallardo. Simeone. Gallardo. Musket. Chamots. Balbo. Surely no penalty. The referee's given another penalty kick. My goodness, no wonder Gallardo is furious. He made no contact with the player, and he is yellow carded for his protest. Well, no wonder Željko Gallardo is an angry young man. Balbo sprinted towards goal, and there seemed to be contact between the goalkeeper and the ball. Maybe this slow motion replay will show whether there was a foul. I don't think so. I think the Socceroos are mighty unlucky to have conceded a penalty at such a crucial period of the game. And the player nicknamed the Doll in Argentina, the pin-up boy of Argentinian football, Marcelo Gallardo, will take this penalty kick. And he's missed! Oh my goodness! 2 missed penalties in a game. And Van Vleut, for his teasing of Gallardo, is at the centre of some rather unkind jostling. He missed by a mile. It would have graced South Africa last week in the Rugby World Cup, but not in this international friendly game between Argentina and Australia. It's still 1-0 to Argentina. Well, the statisticians will have a field day rifling back through their record books to find out the last time 2 penalties were missed in an international game. And another substitution here for Australia. Oh, it is the player surprisingly who comes on. Well, it's Andrew Marth, the Melbourne Knights captain, who last played for Australia back in 1992, on in his place, number 12. So Argentina in a hurry to get on with this game. Gallardo. No wonder he's being booed and wolf whistled following that penalty miss. Having his shorts tugged there. Foul by Berti. Free kick to Australia. There's that push by Berti, which resulted in the Australian free kick. Lazaridis heads for goal. Now, what can Australia fashion from this free kick? Goal like that. Kevin Muscat yet to score an international goal, making only his 2nd appearance for his country. Batistuta. Batistuta, and it's going to be a goal kick. Just to go back to that penalty miss by Argentina and the rather unfavourable way that Jason Van Blurk approached Marcelo Gallardo after Gallardo had placed the ball over the crossbar. The rubbing of the thumb and index finger together indicated from Van Blurk that Gallardo had lost his nerve as he took the penalty kick. It's a South American gesture. Gallardo's nerve didn't hold in that particular circumstance. So we've almost reached the midway point of the second half. Chamot's been yellow carded, not for the first time in his career. Last time I saw him play, he was actually sent off in Saudi in the final of the Intercontinental Cup against Denmark. 2 yellow cards. And Australia have been encouraged by the performance of the Australian Institute of Sport team, which drew 2-2 with the Argentina under-17 team yesterday. They're still only a goal behind in this match. And considering when you think that the overseas players are missing from this Australian team, this is a very good performance by Australia indeed. Muscat. Also bear in mind that the team have undergone a 15-hour flight from Sydney in the last few days. This really is a fighting performance by Eddie Thompson's team. Catch by Cristante. Balbo. Muscat. Ball broke off Balbo. Incidentally, Australia hoping to return to South America in October to accept an invitation rather to play against Brazil in the Maracanã Stadium. I wonder if Brazil will be Copa America champions by then. I'm sure Argentina will have something to say about that. Simeone. That's a great ball in towards Balbo. Oh, that's a fantastic tackle by Steve Horvat. Only playing in his 6th international, Steve Horvat. But this was a grade A tackle, make no mistake. If it had mistimed that one, the referee would have been pointing to the penalty spot once again. Corner kick to Argentina. Ivanovic gets it clear. 5 is Estrada. 10 here is Gallardo. Being booed by the crowd. That's because of his penalty miss. Unless Argentina butt their ideas up soon, he won't be the only player being criticised by this very, very jingoistic home crowd. So another Aussie substitution. Spiteri coming on. Currently in the Olympic team. He appeared in the A team, and his only appearance in the A team was in a 1-0 loss to Ghana in Perth 10 days ago. And we're going to have another yellow card. My goodness, they're coming thick and fast. This time Estrada is cautioned. Looks like Ned Zelic is the player who was on the receiving end of that tackle by Leonardo Estrada, the River Plate midfield player. There's this wonderful save by the Australian goalkeeper Zelko Kalats. So after that brief interval, Australia will take this free kick. Simeone. Zanetti forcing the ball wide. Simeone. Zanetti. Ayala. It's a terrific ball by Ayala. Caceres. Ayala. Chamot. A bit of jersey tugging going on involving Muscat. The worry is with so many players having been shown the yellow card, the red one surely isn't too far away. Chamot. He's beaten Muscat. Far too close to the goalkeeper. He needed to angle the ball back. Batistuta had taken up a good position on the edge of the 6-yard box. Balbo was in there too. So too was Caceres, rather surprisingly, the Real Zaragoza player. Well, that was a crude check by Caceres. Goes unpunished. Gallardo. Zanetti. And we have to feel sorry for young Marcelo Gallardo. He's only 19 years old. He has a very bright future ahead of him, but he's missed a penalty kick here. Argentina rather miss a very presentable chance to score through Diego Simeone. And maybe now is a time for Daniel Passarella to pull Marcelo Gallardo off, because his confidence can't be helped by the fact that every time he receives the ball now he's being jeered and booed by this partisan home crowd. Zanetti. Spiteri wins a free kick. The over-fussy Paraguayan referee. Ned Selic standing over the ball. Spiteri's forward. Zanetti drives it in. No. Lazaridis. Just an opening there created by the header by Spiteri. And if he's enjoying the game. The answer is yes. Batistuta has the ball. Milan Ivanovic played right through Batistuta. And no free kick. There was no need really for Ivanovic to commit himself in that sort of position. not against a player like Batistuta. That's probably easier said than done, but thankfully for Ivanovic, Batistuta took a grade 1 dive and crash-landed on the turf. 15 minutes remaining of the game. Still 1-0 to Argentina. We've had 2 penalty misses in this game, 1 for either side. Zanetti. Zanetti has had 2 or 3 shots on goal now, and all of them have been woefully high. Alberto Ayala, nicknamed Rat on the mouse after Ruben Ayala, who played for the country back in the 1970s. Somebody wants a souvenir of a match ball, and that's why there's a slight pause. Well, they say it's difficult to get the ball back off Argentina. It's even more difficult here to get the ball back off their supporters. Estrada, Balbo, Zanetti, Estrada, Chamot, ball dispatched into the stands by Caceres. So Ariel Ortega going to come on, and he'll replace Marcelo Gallardo. Not before Argentina mount this raid. It really was a peculiar instant, because Betty was free down the left-hand side and he stopped and checked back. This is a terrific run here by Corica. Gallardo. I think all the excitement is because of the introduction of this young man here. Gallardo makes way. Ortega on in his place. Ortega, the man, is very much in the shadow of Gabriel Batistuta, but there's hugs and kisses for Marcelo Gallardo, and I'm sure they'll tell him to forget his penalty miss. To Australia. You can see how rattled 1 or 2 of these Argentinian players have become throughout this game. Do get the impression that it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that Australia could find an equaliser. Zanetti is forward inside the box. Oh, and they almost found a way through then with that header. Alex Turbin, who's playing his 50th full international for Australia in this game, putting his head on the ball. Well-flighted free kick by Steve Corica, who will join the German team Hamburg in a fortnight. can't fault Australia's commitment in this football match. Still 1-0, the only goal of the game. Arrived after just 6 minutes, courtesy of the boots. Balbo. So much has happened since then. Van Blok. Ivanovic. Free kick to Australia, the foul by Chamot. Remember, Chamot has already been shown the yellow card. He'll have to tread a careful line now. Passarella hardly looks the figure of composure. The free kick, Corica is fouled. And the second half very much following in the same footsteps as the first. Argentina beginning the half very strongly, and then Australia coming back into the match. Batistuta. Van Blok. He's given the ball away. Zanetti now. Chased by Van Blok. Zanetti. Couldn't get much closer if he tried. Batistuta. Back into the danger zone, and the header by Ortega is smartly saved by Gallardo. Well, the Australian goal had a charmed life then. Initially the shot by Zanetti ricocheted off the frame of the goal, and then Ortega drew another marvellous save from the Australian keeper. Here's this chance for Zanetti. Dumped it hard and true. And it remains 1-0. Ortega. Barged off the ball by Ivanovic. And Ortega has it back once again. Berti. The player who hasn't been popular with the supporters. Ortega. Ayala. Batistuta. Needs support now. Needs a bit more patience as well. Is on Ned Zelic. Zelic again. Zaridis unable to win the ball. Simeone. That's Lazaridis. This looks dangerous. Free kick. Oh, by Mark. Chamot. Ortega. Chamot's arriving inside the box here and still couldn't find a way through. Well, he's my man of the match. Zanetti Gallardo. It's had a marvellous game. He has produced marvellous saves to keep Australia in this football match. He might have some more work to do. Ortega. Hooks it goalwards. Oh! Just for a moment there, I thought we were going to see one of those marvellous, spectacular, acrobatic strikes from the man they call Batigol, Gabriel Batistuta. And he wound himself up like a grandfather clock here, ready to shoot on goal. Ortega. With Batistuta once again, who've taken up another promising position. Another weak effort this time from Simeone, who was unable to put the full weight of his body over the ball. Just one or two indications, perhaps, that Australia are beginning to tire. Spaces are opening up for Argentina. Zanetti. Simeone, Zanetti. It hasn't been an easy game for Argentina. And incidentally, the Copa America hosts Uruguay were held 2-2 by New Zealand on Thursday night at home. So the teams pressing to do well in the Copa America, having a difficult time of it as they finish their preparations. Daniel Passarella turning his thoughts towards this big tournament, which is right on top of his team now. But Australia have given Argentina quite a workout, and it isn't over yet by any stretch of the imagination. Free kick to Australia. Alex Tobin has made his way forward. Andrew Marthin there as well. Australia deserve a goal. They really do. Stenti with that two-fisted punch. Van Blok. Zanetti. Ivanovic. Caceres. Argentina just 2.5 minutes away from victory. This is Shamart. Balbo waiting on the edge of the box. Once again, the Australian defence stood firm. Ortega. Ortega. Batistuta. Just the wrong side of the upright. And when Gallardo was beaten, the Australian goal still remained intact. Ortega once again able to find that half a yard where his colleagues appear to have failed for most of this game. Balbo looking at Simeone, number 8. Batistuta. No handball. Ortega. Inside the final minute of the game now. Lazaridis. Oh my goodness, some of these tackles are really stern. Spiteri having to just use himself as a human battering ram to try and get round a couple of these Argentinian defenders who are determined to hang on to this slender lead. There's no time for faint hearts now in the Australian team. They have to go for an equaliser. Van Blok. anywhere will do. As far as the Argentina defence is concerned, Eddie Thompson quick to retrieve the ball. Zanetti, Van Blurk. They need a good cross here. And that wasn't one, I'm afraid. Ivanovic. Free kick goes to Argentina. Well, summing up the game, it really has been a very, very good performance by the Socceroos. To come to this hotbed of footballing passions without several star players and carve out a result like this is very, very admirable. What would have happened had the likes of Bosnich and the Wiedmars and the Arnolds and the Slaters and the Okens all been available to Australia. And here's Ortega looking for a second goal before the end. Batistuta! It's gone in! And Argentina find their second goal in stoppage time at the end of the game, which will put a smile on the faces of their supporters and relief on the faces of one or two players. I think that shot took a deflection on its way through to goal, but Gabriel Batistuta will claim his 29th international goal. It did take a deflection. Alex Turbin was the unwitting Australian defender who got the last touch on the ball. And would you believe it, Alex Turbin scored an own goal here against Argentina in 1993 in the World Cup playoff match which settled the game. The whistle had already gone, so that wouldn't have counted. Just to underline the quirkiness of that goal, the player who shot against Alex Turbin back in '93 was this man here, Gabriel Batistuta. So history has a strange way of repeating itself. Not that much resting on this game. But Turbin returns to Buenos Aires, although I think it's rather harsh to put an own goal against his name. Here was a good strike by Gabriel Batistuta. Ortega, he has injected some life and enthusiasm into the Argentinian attack, and here he is trying to set up goal number 3. His contribution is warmly appreciated by the home fans. They've won a corner very late in the game. We've played 4 minutes of stoppage time. Balbo. And it's all over. It really has been a curious game, but in the end, goals from the two Italy-based strikers of Argentina, Balbo and Gabriel Batistuta, give Argentina a 2-0 advantage in a game with 2 missed penalties. One was missed by Marcelo Gallardo, one missed by Paul Wade, and the final score in this friendly international from Buenos Aires is Argentina 2, Australia 0.
So there it is, 2-0 victory to Argentina, and until those very dying seconds, almost the same scoreline or we almost ended up with the same scoreline as in that World Cup match against Argentina's best team, or just about best team, I might say. Before we wrap up, I want to just analyse that controversial incident in the first half, the contentious incident about the Australian penalty, which was missed and then put into the back of the net by John Markovski, but disallowed. Let's have a look at that incident again. The first thing about it is, was it offside? If you have a look at it there, when Ned Zelic puts this in, there's no question of offside. Nobody was in an offside position. So that proposition is ruled out straight away. The other question is the encroachment. And there, at the impact of the ball, you can see John Markovski inside the area, no other player, no Argentinian player either, inside the area at that point. So that's why the referee's decision was quite correct. John Markovski penalised, and I think John and Tommy, you might know better than me that that is an automatic bookable offence, is it not, encroachment?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah,
but obviously it is because Jonesy got his name in the book.
Some referees out there might be able to point that out to us. But that's that particular issue. Let's look back on the game. A fantastic second half, I thought.
Oh, sensational second half. I mean, the Aussies really had to soak up some pressure. We got in behind them a couple of times, but we really didn't make the most of it. We didn't have to test their keeper out at all during the whole match. But the way we organised ourselves at the back was sensational. You know, we tracked our people down, and I mean, who said lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place? Poor Alex Tobin, same sort of incident, you know, and it was just one of those freak things. And I'm damned if I know where the referee got 4 minutes of injury time from either.
Yeah, you would have thought that Zeljko Kolac, Tommy, who had such a brilliant game, would have probably had that covered had there not been a deflection.
Yeah, and before the match I said, well, this is Kalac's final examination, whether he's good enough to go overseas, and he passed it with honours. The big fella was absolutely brilliant. They tightened up Australia in the second half and frustrated Argentina. And the big thing that comes out of this is this was really Australia taking nothing away from these guys who did a terrific job today. You know, this was the virtual B-side, and when you think now that the depth we have, once you get the overseas players back, I think it's a great afternoon for Australian soccer. The result, 2-0, it was very, very cruel, I think.
All right, John, here's the goal. They played us through. Of course, we were quite committed at that point, one could assume, John, to going forward. They came at us in great numbers, but very bad luck by Alex Tobin.
It certainly was, but I mean, I think Tobin and Steve Horvat did a great job. If you have a look at the positions that the two frontmen always took up for Argentina, Balbo when he was on the park and Batistuta, they were always making angled runs across the front of defenders, and it's very, very difficult to pick people up like that, especially at the pace and with the skill level that these guys have got. And Alex and Steve did a fantastic job, I thought, and Zeljko Kalac would have had that covered. It was going near post, and it's just taken that little bit of pace off the ball and brought it back in. Wrong-footed Zeljko, and 2-0, and very, very unlucky.
What we lacked, Les, was a little bit of penetration, which players like Ocon, Aurelia Vidmar and Arnold would have given us. Yep. And that would have taken some pressure off the defence and putting Argentina into a
well, if you go with a depleted side, you're forced on the back foot, aren't you? Tommy Anderson, thanks for joining us this morning. John Kosmina, thanks for joining us today. And I hope you enjoyed the game. That's Argentina versus Australia, the last major chore by the Socceroos, I would think, for some time now. But we'll be following them wherever they go. You can catch edited highlights of the game tonight on World Soccer at 5:30 and then again at 10:30 tomorrow morning. And one more reminder of the Copa America. It starts at 5 p.m. next Saturday with Colombia versus Peru. And until then, from the World Game, goodbye.
This